season. They go rather fast, and we're disappointed. We'd like to have a few more, but all good things come to an end. Obviously, it hadn't been a great year to this point. Talk a little bit about the Memphis game. Same problems, just not enough production on offense. Can't score on big plays. We had 4 shots we took down the field. We didn't catch any of them, and those are the things that we've got to do. And we did a little bit more of that at the beginning of the year, but we got to make those plays. We've got to be able to run the ball a little bit better. We've got to be more consistent. Defensively, we played well at times, and at times we gave up third down plays, especially in the red zone. But Memphis had a good football team, a lot of good players, and just disappointed about that game, about the seniors not having an opportunity to win their last game here at Denver. That being said, we've got Tulsa this week. Tulsa's a real good football team. They lost a close game to Ohio State in Columbus. They lost a very close game to Navy on the road. And then they lost on the last play of the game in Houston. So I'm sure they're disappointed they're not playing in the championship game in a week. But pretty much the same team we played last year. It was nip and tuck all through the game. I think it ended up 24-30 or 42-30, something like that at the end of the game, but a lot of scoring. They've got a very good quarterback, senior, really throws the football, got good receivers around him, but their base game is their 2 running backs have 1,000 yards each. And, you know, that's important to have that running game along with the passing game they've got. But they're explosive, they go fast, they make a lot of plays. Coach has done an excellent job there. Excellent job coming from Baylor. And so we got our hands full on defense. Offensively, for us, they play their defenses pretty much like ours. They play a 4-man front. They're not real flashy. You know, they make plays. They try to keep you out of the end zone. Obviously, with an offense like they've got, you know, they can play in front of the chains quite a bit, and that's what they've done all year long. Not living off their offense, but understanding that their offense is going to score a lot of points. Just kind of a little bit of the opposite of what we've had. So we're going there day after Thanksgiving. Our seniors yesterday we had a good practice. They're basically running the show. They want to finish this thing up right. So hopefully we can have something positive happen. Questions?
What do you tell your players at this point in the season when things have gone so badly and you have 1 game left? What do you say to them?
You know, it's hard. I haven't been through a lot of these. It's just hard to go into the last game of the year knowing that you don't even have a chance of having a chance to go to a bowl game. In the past, I've had some teams that were right on the verge. You win the last game, so you kind of keep the momentum up. In this situation, we've leaned on our seniors, the guys that really want to finish up the right way. And again, I think these senior meetings that we've had have really been good for our team. We hadn't shown a lot of improvement, but we have showed a lot of fight right at the end, and that's the main thing. You know, they know that the end of this week, tomorrow will be basically their last time. 95% of them will ever practice again in a helmet or a pair of shoulder pads. We go to the game this week. This is the last time they'll be on a team charter, be at a team meal, get to be in a police escort, going to and from the stadium. A lot of things in this week for a lot of guys, and so it's kind of an emotional deal. You always at the end, you know, you feel for them, whether you're winning or losing, knowing that hey, they're finishing this deal up and now they got to go out and get a real job. So it's important that you make sure that the seniors feel like, you know, it's all about them, and the young guys play for them, do things all that they can do to make something successful and positive out of the last game, and hopefully that happens this week.
You look back, would you do anything differently? Like, I don't know, where you use your quarterbacks or maybe third? Do you do that as a coach at all?
You know, we looked at the first 3 or 4 games. We redshirted 90% of our guys, and you know, I came here. I'm a builder. I'm not one of those guys that's going to come in and try to put a fast fix to a football team, and then suffer as your season go on. Now, unfortunately, when I got here, we didn't have any running backs, defensive ends, or defensive backs, and so we had to sign a lot of JUCO players. Now those guys have come and gone, and it's affected us a little bit. But you know, when I came here with Whit, I asked him what he wanted to do. He said he wanted to build a football program. Mike Bone the same way. You know, a place like this, you've got to build a program that's solid. You can't go out, can't do it with tricks. You can't do it with going out and take every junior college player you can get your hands on, try to fix it every which way for that 1 year. You've got to do it for the future. And you know, I kind of compared, and I told our coaches this, I look back at my years at Auburn, and we're in a little bit the same situation. We won 5 games the first year, and wasn't a good season. The next year we won a few more. Next year was very average. 4th year, we barely got to a bowl game. Then the next 5 years we won 50 games and had a chance 1 year to win the national championship. You've got to do it the right way. You've got to build it with the younger guys. Right now, 70 of our 110 players are freshmen and sophomores. And, you know, it's going to get better. But your question was, what had I done different? I might would have played a running back. Now, I knew going into the season it's hard. Every year that I've been here, we've lost our first two running backs, and we've had to play number 3 and 4. Fortunately, our second year, we lose Jose Williams and Tion. We take Mike Boone out of the red shirt. He plays, and he helps us win a conference championship with a true freshman. And that's very unique to do it that way. And then with basically a one-legged quarterback in Munchie, because I think Gunner only played like 6 games that year. Munchie had to come in and couldn't very much run, but he had a little bit of experience. So I've looked back, you know, just going back and looking. After the 5th game, we decided, hey, we're going to go with what we got. We're not going to pull these young kids out. We redshirted 5 receivers, probably that could have helped us maybe win another game, but we want them to help us win championships in the next 3 or 4 years. We knew this year was going to be a tough year. Change of offensive staff, almost all new. Everything new we're doing new on offense. Not a lot of playmakers, a lot of guys that were trying to find their way in terms of being starters. That were a couple of them were 4th and 5th year players for the first time. And then, of course, we've had the merry-go-round quarterback. You go back and look at the first year, we're pretty good on offense. The first of the year, we didn't play very good in the red zone, but we turned the ball over. And then Hayden got hurt, and then we went from not turning it over as much, but we wasn't as good, just the simple fact that we weren't making plays. So, you know, there's not any excuses. You know, there's a lot of things we probably could say, if we did this, we did that. You know, we're building it, we're doing it the right way, we're not taking any shortcuts. We've got good players on the team that are young. Nobody cares about that, I know. Nobody cares what we got in the future. Everybody cares about what happens right now. I'm really shocked that we won the conference our second year with what we had to do. Really, there was no fanfare over it. You know, I'm thinking, you know, we win the conference and we've got like half of our team is brand new, and you know we should be jumping up and down, but we kind of took it in stride, and you know, we kind of went on with it. But you know, that's fine. You know, I want to do this the right way. You know, you go back and look. Everybody says, "What, Coach? You said we're better now." We're not better because we're not winning games. You got to look at the different things. We've changed everything from our dorm rooms, from guys having a single room, to the meals that they eat, to the COA money that they get, they put in their pocket. Our recruiting advantage has become tenfold, not just from me. Mike Bones had a lot to do with what he's put in our football program. To give us a chance to be competitive against the Power 5, because we're not going to recruit against teams that are not Power 5. We're not going to do that, because one of these days we hope we move to that level. So if we dip down a notch below, sure, we can go out there and get kids that we might be able to compete with in some areas, but we don't want to compete in that area. We want to compete with the best. And so we've not taken any shortcuts. We've built everything up to help us recruit these type of players. Somebody said, well, you're not recruiting local players. I offered 21 scholarships last year. And I told everybody, there's 21 scholarships that were going to big Power 5 schools. I'm not going to go after kids that I don't think can help us beat, you know, next year Michigan or the next year UCLA, all those. So we try to do it. We're trying to do it in a way of building it to try to make it better, you know, a football program that's a solid, great football program on the level we all want to be at. So those are kind of things that we're trying to do. Everybody's asking, you know, you worry about your job. I never worry about my job. I mean, I don't control that. I mean, what I control is our players. And I worry about our players more than I worry about anything else. And I really worried about them this year because they really suffered because they saw a lot of things going on, heard a lot of things from the stands. And as I told them, that's towards me. I mean, that's the reason they pay me the big bucks. You go play, you have fun. This is the last chance a lot of you'll ever have. Let's go do it. Let's go get it done. You will be remembered as a team that really got this thing going because you really had to bite the bullet for, you know, some of the shortcomings that we've had to take in the last few years. So that all being said, you know, this hadn't been fun at all. It's never fun to lose, but I think we can look back at it in a couple of years going, you know, this thing's all working out because of the things that we're trying to build. So patience is a virtue. We've all heard that. And so we've got to have a little bit of that when it comes to building a football program. You have not had one here. You've won games. You've had good teams. I came here to stay. I didn't come here to go to the pros or get another game, another job. I know how to build teams. I've won a lot of games. We're going to continue to win games. And so football program at University of Cincinnati is better than it's ever been, and it's going to get better. I mean, we're at the bottom right now winning, but that's just, you're looking from the outside in. We're looking from the inside out at what we're doing, recruiting, the type of players that we've been on for 3 years, recruited for 3 years, convinced to come to Cincinnati for 3 years, and recruiting is it's a process of 2 or 3 years. It ain't going out and recruiting 1 year. It's recruiting 3 or 4 years and getting these kids bought into your program. And unfortunately, you know, we had to change some coaches last year because they went other places. Set us back a little bit, but I tell you, they did a great job of bringing the players in their first year, and with the ones who already had committed, and now it's really going to pay off this year with the ones that they've had a chance to work with for 2 years.
Coach, I want to follow up. You mentioned your future here at the UC. You mentioned a few weeks ago that you had support from Mike Bone and other folks in the athletic department. Have you had conversations with those folks since? Do you think that support still exists?
No, what you do is at the end of the year, you know, we all sit down. I mean, that's the way you do it. You know, you go through the season. Mike's been at every game, in every locker room, supportive. He knows. He understands the situation we're in. You know, you got to know from within. You can't look from, of course, if you're looking from the outside in going, man, are they in god-awful shape? I mean, everybody. I mean, our fans are looking at, you know, but most people don't understand what we're doing and what we're trying to do. He understands that. He understands what we do, what we've done with, you know, the academics, the strength room, their dorms, the COA money, going through all this Big 12 stuff, everything that we've kind of crossed paths with. We hadn't had a lot of positives, obviously, but there's going to be a lot of positives come. You got to keep working for that. You don't want to keep adding negatives. So it's going to get better. But again, we'll sit down and talk. At the end of the year, I talk with all my coaches. We go over what they've done, what they can do better. You know, do I need to make a change? Mike does the same thing on my level. You know, they look at our body of work. You know, you never make as an athletic director. And one of these days, I want to be an athletic director when I get out of this in a few years. I'm gonna get out, and I'm gonna be. I think I'll be a good one. To be honest with you, I've been around some good ones. I've been around some that you know that I learned a lot from on the other side. But I really think a lot about our program. I mean, I really understand what we're doing and what we want to do. And again, the patience has got to be there with everybody. I understand everybody's looking at, you know, what we've done. And you don't think it don't hurt us. You come to my house. My wife hadn't talked to me either. You know, she likes to win too.
It's the weekly question. Who starts at quarterback this week?
Hayden will start.
Hayden?
Yeah.
That was easy.
Pardon?
I said that was easy.
And they're all practicing. You know, Gunner's good. Ross is good. You know, they want to win. You know, everybody's been good. You know, when you're not as successful as you want to be in any sport, I mean, especially in football, because you got so many personalities, you got so many people involved. You got so many coaches, you got trainers, managers. I mean, it's hard for a head coach. That's my hard job, is to keep everybody focused, Okay, don't get outside the circle. You know, stay focused on what you're doing. Do your job. Be supportive of everybody else. And we've had that, you know, from us, from, as I said, Mike Bone, our chancellor, and congratulations to her, you know, going to Tennessee, you know, our interim chancellor. You know, everybody's been on the same page. I've gotten hundreds and hundreds of calls and letters, you know, from people who are very supportive, in which, you know, you need to hear something. I don't look at a lot of that. Sherry, my secretary, looks at a lot of that, and she'll pass on, you know, the ones she thinks I need to look at. Of course, we get some not so good, but that's whether you're winning or losing. So it all goes in stride, but it's all about, when you're a head coach, you can't worry about any of that stuff other than worry about the guys in this room, the people in your inner circle, and make sure everybody understands, you know, what we can do and what we can do to make it better.
All three of your quarterbacks have struggled this year. Do you think you have a quarterback in this program who's quarterback of the future? And for next year, do you have a guy?
Oh, yeah. We've got one committed that's a little bit different than the one that we've got. Of course, we can't bring up names or run around and throw her. Everybody looks for that. You know, I'm one of those guys. Of course, I coach defense, and we've defended some good ones this year. And those guys that can run give you an awful big headache, because they can make a big one out of a bad one, play at any time. But that being said, you've got Hayden coming back, you've got Ross coming back. Ross is probably the most athletic, probably has a little bit more, I'd say, maturity to him right now. Then we have Jake Sopko, a young man from Cleveland that's really going to be a good quarterback and throw the football. Then we have one coming in. So we're in good shape. We're in good shape. I've really felt for Zach Taylor this year, because here's a guy that comes in and inherits not a lot of experience. He changes a little bit of the offense. We've got a little bit of a quarterback controversy going on. He's had to develop all of them with their personalities. It's been tough on him, tough to organize it. And then going up against, you know, this conference is as good as any conference in the country. I'd put us up against any, except for a couple of teams in each league. I mean, this league's tough. I mean, you take your lunch. I mean, this group we're playing this week, I mean, they could play anybody they wanted to. And they played Ohio State right down to the end at their place. But you know, if you just look at it, when I started this thing first 2 years, this conference wasn't very good. I mean, everybody was hurting, including us, and we fought the last 6 or 7 games we won in a row. Just fell our way. We won the conference. First year we almost had won it and lost to Louisville in overtime out here. But this conference, coaches have gotten better. Everybody understands the league better. And again, anybody can be. Look at what Houston did last week. I mean, that wasn't a loss. That was a beat. And you know, we've been down there. We played them, and we played one of our better games against them. And we're not far from that. We're not far from having a real good football team. We're just off a little bit. And we got to have that 1 or 2 guys come out of this freshman class that we redshirted this year that's going to make those plays that didn't make it this year, along with Devin Gray coming back, Jerron Rollins, Thomas Geddes, the 2 guys that we didn't redshirt that we had to play. It's one of those deals. And then Khalil Lewis, you know, is going to have to come through for us. He did not make the plays that we expected this year. One of those guys that just immaturity, you know, in tough situations, just didn't make that, you know, catch, you know, when it was thrown to him. But that being said, you know, you got to learn to do that. You got to learn to catch them in a crowd, tough situations, and that's what we've done mostly for the first 3 years.
Did Tion come to you about wearing Isaiah's jersey this week, or?
He did. I don't know where that's at. Good. Yeah. And that's good. Tion is, you know, Tion's about 70%. You know, he's having to carry the load right now, but he's been a great leader and a great kid for us. And, you know, he was the only running back I had when I got here, and he was a true freshman. And that's the reason we had to go out and sign Jose Williams and Rod Moore, you know, to get us through the first couple of years, and they just didn't more than get us through. And then we got lucky, and we got Mike Boone, who was a receiver that we brought in, and lo and behold, look at him. Of course, we're really missing him as we speak, but you know, he's, I think, going to really be a force next year with Jared Doakes And Chet Banchbach was operated on today, by the way. And, you know, well, we're gonna have 5 running backs going into next season. I learned my lesson, and you have got to, and probably that, what Bill asked earlier, Jared Dokes probably should have been on our team this year playing, or even at least been working towards that with an opportunity maybe to play if something happened. It just didn't happen soon enough. You know, Mike didn't get hurt until a few weeks ago. And we thought we'd made it through the season, and all of a sudden, you know, we got past the point of no return for red shirts. And he's going to be a good football player. Jared is, real good.
Anything else? All right.
Last one, boys. Last one of the year. You got anything, Tom?